Welcome back, our dear viewers, continuing our special coverage for the Senate elections 2025 and to shed more light about the polling stations and the electoral process in Assouan Governorate. We are very much delighted to be joined by our correspondent from Assouan, Hany Farag. Good afternoon to you, Hany.
Yes, good afternoon to you, and all my greetings to you and to all my dear viewers.
Yes, since we are almost in the middle of the day concerning the voting hours, how do you describe the scene in Assouan, Hany, and how do you see the turnout and the participation of the voters in Assouan Governorate in particular?
Yes. Let me say that the electoral process has already stopped from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. for rest and lunch, as stipulated in the working mechanism of the electoral committees across the country. Let me say also that an hour of rest from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. was indeed necessary for all those in charge of this, of following the electoral process, especially in light of this hot weather. Yes. The high temperatures here in Assouan had an impact really on the temperature and on the participation rate of voters in this electoral process for the Senate, for the election of Senate Council. But with the resumption of the work of the electoral committees, each party and each individual candidate continued to mobilize their supporters. Therefore, participation rates are expected to increase with the arrival or the coming of night hours and a gradual relative decrease in temperatures and in the sunlight. In general, in village in Assouan, the participation rate may be higher than in cities, especially especially that we can mention that Assouan is one of the largest electoral circumstancy. Is more and more we are seeing more and more tribal rivals. The strongest electoral competitions maybe in Edfu Center, which is one of the 5 centers in Assouan, in which 8 candidates are competing only on 2 seats for this border governorate. In the light also of this hot weather, as well as ensuring the regularity of the electoral process, the governor of Assouan stressed the connection of the Control and Public Safety Center at the General Office of the Governorate with the operations room of the Security Directorate, the court and the local units in order to follow up of the electoral process. Also on the ground, in a national patriotic scene and a strong message urging voters to go out and participate with their votes in order to support stability, strengthen democracy and build a better future for their country. General Dr. Ismail Kamal, governor of Assouan, participating during his inspection tour on the ground to follow up on the progress of the Senate elections here with a group of religious figures, most notably Sheikh Samir Khalil, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Endowments or Al-Waqf, and Bishop Bishoy, Bishop of the Diocese or Cathedral of Assouan, and this is a national scene. Also on the sidelines of this tour, Dr. Ismail Kamal stressed the importance of raising awareness of the necessity of going out and participating in these elections, considering this as an inherent constitutional right, so that the Assouan citizen can choose who can represent them and who can, who has maybe the ability to convey his voice and the pulse of the state officials in order to develop urgent solutions to any problems or to any public demands. Pointing out also that in the period preceding the electoral process here in Assouan, there was an honorable image represented in holding many public meetings to intensify awareness efforts to cast the citizens' vote in the elections, especially from members of the National Council for Women, as they play a prominent role in encouraging women to
Yes.
go out and to participate, in addition to representatives of the civil society institutions and civil
Yes.
society associations, and also natural, popular, and religious leaders to achieve all together solidarity among all the society in order to make participation in the perfect way.
Yes.
The governor also stressed during his visit of inspection on the achievement of full security for ballot boxes after voting and securing all committees against fires. He also stressed the provision of backup generators in anticipation of any power outage during the voting and the counting process, in addition to raising the level of preparedness in hospitals to deal with any emergency cases. Today, also, the 8 candidates are competing once again to obtain the votes of those who have the right to vote in this governorate. The number approximately is 1,160,000 voters. The total number of subcommittees here reaches 190 committees, and they are located within 89 maybe polling stations in 8 general committees. Once again, and in detail, those who have the right to vote and cast their votes in these today's elections after the latest amendment to the statistics of the governorate and the Supreme Elections Committee, their number reaches 1,160,070 56 male and female voters.
Yes. Hany, as you were mentioning the importance of women participation, how did you assess here till this moment the participation of women and the elderly and the youth in Assouan governorate? Did you assess high representation of women and youth in the polling station in Assouan?
Yes. From the early morning today, I have seen already a lot of participation from women here in Assouan. They are coming here, they are mobilized by different organizations and different parties here to come and to vote. But again, I have to say that this tribal population is they are keen on participation because they want to be represented, well represented in the upcoming Senate Council.
Yes.
Therefore, we have seen also a great participation from youth in order to once again convoy their demands in order to get their needs from the upcoming Senate Council.
Yes. Hany, as you have said, that Assouan is quite hot, the weather is quite hot. As now we are approaching 6 p.m. Cairo local time, do you believe that, or do you see here that the participation is starting to increase as the temperature is starting to decrease somehow?
Yes, once again, the temperature has a crucial impact on the participation,
Indeed.
on the degrees of the participation of population here in Assouan. Once again, yes, of course, the midday we have seen maybe a great decreasing in the participation of the population. Therefore, what it was expected, or are to be expected rather, is great and greater participation from the voters with the upcoming hours and with the coming of the night.
Indeed. Hany Farag, our correspondent from Assouan. Thank you so much, Hany, for your updates, and we'll be back to you throughout the remaining hours of the voting to update us about the voting process in Assouan Governorate. Our dear viewers, continuing our special coverage for the Senate elections 2025, only on Night TV International. Don't go away, stay tuned.